Hey, I mean,
God, what a week. What a week for press conferences.
you kidding me? Tony Khan's not the only one. Olivia Wilde's not the only one. Are you up on the UFC stuff?
No?
Bro. Tomorrow is UFC 279.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we got for a press conference. For UFC 279, it's as of yesterday, it was Chimyav. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Versus Nate Diaz. It's Nate Diaz's last fight. Chimyav. Yeah, Chimyav. Chimyav versus Diaz. It's Nate Diaz's last fight on his UFC contract. And this was the press conference.
I am in very weird... Yeah, this ain't gonna happen. I apologize, everybody. I am in very weird waters here. This has never happened in the history of this company. So, trust me when I tell you this is the right decision not to do this press conference right now. And, yeah.
It's getting booed.
I hear you. I'm with you. But for everybody's safety, this is the right decision.
Oh, boy.
All right? I apologize. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Hot Dog, he canceled the press conference at the beginning of the press conference. And you go, what the hell is happening? Well,
That's absurd.
as it turns out, Chimiev was back there, and I guess he and this other fighter named Kevin Holland have been going back and forth a little bit. Guess what happened before this press conference?
Did they have a little scrap?
A backstage melee. Backstage melee. A full-on melee. Kevin Holland's crew, Chimiev's crew, apparently Nate Diaz's crew was somehow involved as well. It just became a scene. Dana White apologized. He said, look, it's unacceptable. And I'm sorry. He said at these press conferences, they don't have the kind of security that they even have for the weigh-ins. Like at the weigh-ins, they have a ton of security. At the fights, obviously, they have security out the ass. But like at the press conference, they figure that they figure these adult professionals are going to be able to promote this fight because it's good for them to promote the fight because they make money. But it was not to be. Then, just when you thought that was the most dramatic thing, they go, screw it, we're still going to do the fight. We just won't have a press conference for it. Today, they do the weigh-ins. The fight's tomorrow. So today, they do the weigh-ins. Like I said, Nate Diaz's last fight on his UFC contract. Everybody's looking forward to this thing. Chimiev shows up, and this is his weigh-in. He's smiling. He's confident.
178 and a half.
178
and he said, not that bad. 178 and a half. You know what's the only problem?
It's not. It's 178 division.
He's fighting at 171.
Yeah.
He showed up 8 pounds overweight. Like, if you show up a pound and a half overweight, then like fucking get back on the bike. Like clearly, if you show up 8 pounds overweight, I'm not an MMA expert, but this man did not try to make weight. There is no way that he failed by 8 pounds on the day of weigh-in. I'd say there's no way that happens by mistake. This is his job. His job is to be like, okay, you have to weigh this much and then fight. That's the whole job. It would be like
a couple pies on Monday and
like, what? You have a weigh-in. You're going to be 8 pounds overweight. He's like, fuck it. Like, who cares?
I can piss that right out.
Yeah.
No worries.
No.
So are they going to fight? I mean, because I know sometimes it's up to the other fighter if they want to still take the fight.
That's a great question, Hot Dog, and you're 100% right on that. And Nate Diaz was like, no, I'm not going to fight Chimiev with an 8-pound weight advantage on my last contracted UFC fight. I'm not going to do that. So just before we went on the air, 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday, just before we went on the air tonight, Dana White jumped on Instagram and on SportsCenter and let them know what the plan was. Nate Diaz is fighting Tony Ferguson with 1 day's notice. Tony Ferguson,
That's amazing.
Tony Ferguson, who was already on the card, has agreed. They're fighting at the right weight class. They're fighting 171. And now it's Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson, which to me is mind-blowing. Because the idea of fighting at all, I'm like, is already, I can't wrap my head around it. But the idea that you can fight a guy on 1 day's notice, like you've been training, theoretically, for one person's style this entire time. The idea that now you're just going to jump in with a completely different person who fights a completely different way, that's insane. Like you would think that the 24-hour lead up to a fight, 36-hour, is like, okay, I've done all the work, I've done all the training, now I chill and get my mind right. But you got to wrap your head around fighting somebody else, man. Tony Ferguson and Nate Diaz are both bad asses. Unbelievable. But then, this is what makes UFC so great. Chimaev is going to fight. You know who Chimaev's going to fight?
Who?
Kevin Holland, the guy that they got into a scrap with at the press conference. You couldn't have booked it better.
Are they the same division? So, I mean, obviously he's still overweight.
Yeah. I know the weight's good. The weight's good for Kevin Holland and Chimaev. That's happening. So now I feel like the fight card's even better with 1 day out. Like, see this, I don't think the drama helps the royal family. I don't think the drama helps the Don't Worry Darling crew, but the drama has helped in UFC quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, more interested in seeing two guys fight who are fighting backstage.
Yes.
Actually duke it out.
And that all these fights are happening on 1 day's notice, so everybody's just going nuts in there. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Big deal. I mean, Seth Rollins did that at WrestleMania.
Cashed in, too.
Yeah. I was talking about Cody Rhodes. He fought Cody Rhodes on the same day notice.
Yeah, but he caught it from Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, he did.
And then he got a month's notice to fight him again. Caught it again. Then he got a month's notice to fight Cody Rhodes with a torn pec. Guess what? Caught it again. You can't fuck with Cody Rhodes. I'm surprised Cody Rhodes isn't jumping in the octagon, to tell you the truth.
I'll take the fight. Imagine all you hear is boom, boom.
Yeah, wait, what is
wrestling?
Wrestling has more than one royal family. What is that? Adrenaline in my soul.
That would have been awesome.
Would have been great. And I would have been like, yeah, he's going to win.
Weighing 222 pounds.
Yeah. Except Dana White wouldn't let them bring his dog out and get freaked out by those fireworks. That's for sure.